FBI Director James Comey testified on Capitol Hill this week, shooting down President Trump's claims that the Obama administration actually wiretapped him during the 2016 election, as well as revealing for the first time the scope of the ongoing investigations into attempts by Russia to influence the 2016 election. We have our report from VOA's Catherine Gibson.
The FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election.
At his first public opportunity to testify, FBI Director James Comey announcing that investigation includes a look at any possible links between Russia and the Trump campaign.
This will also include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed. Because it is an open, ongoing investigation and is classified, I cannot say more about what we are doing.
Well, that made for a long day, revealing few details of the investigation. Comey was able to confirm there was no evidence for the president's tweeted accusations of wiretapping.
I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI.
A fact committee Democrats were eager to hammer home.
President Obama could not unilaterally order a wiretap of anyone.
No president could.
And for the latest now on the president's wiretapping claims and possible election interference by Russia, we are joined on the set by VOA Congressional correspondent Saine, along with VOA White House correspondent Pete Heinlein. I thank you both for joining us. Pete, I'm so glad you made it to the building, out of the White House.
That's right.
So Pete, let me ask you the first question here. So after 5 hours of testimony, what have we learned? What do we really know for sure?
Well, we don't know much for sure.
That's what I was afraid you'd say.
Yeah, other than the allegation by the president that somehow he was wiretapped on the authorization of
Even though
President
James Comey
Obama.
said there's no
is
evidence
dead.
of that.
That's right, it's dead. I mean, he appears to have, there's no substantiation whatsoever.
But he's doubling it down on that. The other part of it is we finally learned for the first time the actual extent of this investigation into possible Russian collusion. We don't know any of the details, but we do know that it's part of the FBI and NSA investigation.
Well, we do have the information from the ranking Democratic member of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. He said there is what he called more than circumstantial evidence of some collusion. We don't know what that evidence is. But, as we go on, the waters seem to get muddier and muddier. And the thing is, we've got two competing investigations here. One is whether the Trump administration colluded with the Russians to influence the election. The other is who leaked information to the press and apparently, according to late news, unmasked some of the people who were being wiretapped,
And
Americans.
this seems to be the partisan split that we're seeing here is Democrats want to know exactly what happened and who was talking to the Russians. The Republicans want to know who leaked this stuff. Are you noticing that in your coverage?
Yes, that's right. And I did cover the Hill many years, and I have never seen a hearing quite like this. It was extraordinary that the FBI is investigating our current president and his team members, his associates, for possible collusion with Russia. 17 U.S. intelligence agencies have said that Russia attacked the United States during the election. It's kind of new territory because it's a cyber attack, and they used all kinds of means. They hacked into both Democratic and Republican emails, but they only leaked the Democrat emails to hurt Hillary Clinton. And Adam Schiff, as Pete said, he laid out exactly why, when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she made very public that she didn't think that Putin's 2011 election was fair, and he harbors a grudge against her, apparently, because of that. So Schiff has laid out some of these things, and then we've had, of course, Attorney General Sessions not telling the truth about meeting with the Russian ambassador, and Schiff was laying out a lot of these things that we've been seeing happening over the months, saying, okay, it could be coincidental, but there's getting to be quite a lot of them. Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, being on the payroll, getting tens of millions of dollars from Russia over the years.
So that's the Democratic side. Let me talk to you about Devin Nunes, the chairman of this Intelligence Committee. It was quite remarkable that he actually received some information and went directly to the president and bypassing his committee members altogether. Do you find that unusual?
It was surprising even to the president. And I think when
To the president?
when the president was asked about this by a reporter, he kind of hesitated. He said, "Yeah, I'm somewhat relieved that I'm hearing this information. It somewhat vindicates me." But he was thrown. The Democrats on the committee were incensed, were furious about this.
What does this do, Cindy, to the credibility of this supposedly impartial body investigating these wiretapping and these collusion claims? What does that do to the objectivity of
Right.
this
I
group?
think that Nunes did deal a blow. And Republican Senator John McCain, who also was a presidential candidate, said that his behavior was bizarre and that basically now we need an independent commission. We need to take this out so there won't be Democrats and Republicans. We need an independent commission to investigate this. So I think we're going to see more and more calls for that.
Is that more likely now, Pete? A select committee to actually investigate this Watergate style?
Well, it's interesting. Republicans control Congress, and I think Cindy might be better positioned to answer that question, but I think they'll try to stall that. Whereas, on the other hand, the Justice Department is being pushed by the administration to get busy and investigate those leaks and those unmaskings, which could also lead to some very serious charges.
There's a lot of allegations, but very few details. But let me ask you this, and perhaps this is a hypothetical question, Pete, but if it turns out that Trump campaign advisors actually coordinated information with Russian officials, information that may have been damaging to Hillary Clinton's campaign, does that mean collusion? Is that enough evidence to suggest that there was collusion, in fact?
I think it does, and that's the type of thing that could end a presidency. That's the type of thing, the type of violation that really could send the presidency, the entire country, into a crisis.
Cindy, do you agree that would be an impeachable
I do.
offense?
I mean, I'm not a legal scholar by any means, but I think that what it actually boils down to, because it was a Russian attack, is treason.
Okay.
So if it's proven.
So again, we're running out of time, but let me ask you this, since this is happening as we go to air, there's a big debate going on in the House of Representatives over the health care bill, Trump care. Does what's going on the Russiagate investigation affect what happens on the other side when it comes to passing legislation like this, especially important legislation?
That's
like
a very interesting question. I don't think it is at this point.
Does it hurt Trump's credibility, though, when he makes all these claims and then he says, believe me, this is the best health care plan I can give you?
His credibility has been
Yes,
damaged.
I
I think both of us would be unanimous on that subject.
Okay, so this story is far from over, and I thank you both for covering this so closely for us.
I think we'll be talking about this again.
For a long time, I'm sure. Pete Heinlein and Cindy Saine, thank you so much. It's time right now for another break. But when we come back, she's the first American woman to complete the traditional infantry training process, and VOA was first to ask her why. Carla Babb joins us next with her exclusive interview. But first, a reminder, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, questions, and comments on our Facebook page. The address is VOA The Correspondent. We'll be right back.